Harry's relationship with William, from what I've read so far, the book paints a truly heartbreaking picture of these once close brothers. William seemingly trying to look out for his kid brother and Harry seemingly resenting him for it. I believe there's a quote in your book that says that there's a thin line between caring and condescending. Am I reading that correctly? And how did this get so bad?
I think when we look at the fractures in Harry and William's relationship, firstly, we have to remember they are two men in their 30s on very different paths. And so their priorities in life do differ to some extent. But the backstory to that conversation that William had with Harry, which of course saw him sit down and give that advice about moving ahead too quickly, we have to remember that although it may look that Harry's reaction was too sensitive, what had happened up until that point was that Harry was very aware of the chatter going on within palace walls about the woman that he had chosen to create a life with. And I think for that reason, and also finding out that friends had been making disparaging comments about Meghan as well, he felt very protective. He was very sure of the woman that he had fallen in love with. And I think he wanted people to respect that rather than question it. You know, there often comes a point in a sort of older and younger brother's lives where you're more equal than you are one sort of more dominant than the other. And I think that William's advice at that time just wasn't requested. And it ultimately did some damage on their relationship moving forward. That said, when we look at where they are today, I think things have moved forward somewhat. We look at Charles's coronavirus scare and really how things like that can bring a family together. The brothers, for the first time in a while, were speaking again. And whilst we're nowhere near where things used to be, when things were very good between the brothers, there is a sign that things are on their way to a better place.
And money was also an issue between the brothers, is that correct?
Money's always an issue for all members of the royal family. You are vying for budgets within the firm, and often hierarchy plays a great role in that. William, as the future king, will always come first. Whether he wants to go on a big tour, that will always come first before anything that Harry wants to do. And that makes it very difficult at a time when I would say that, or argue that Harry's popularity, or the Sussex's popularity, was almost usurping that of other members of the royal family. They felt that as a firm or as a business, why not utilize and harness that popularity of the Sussexes and allow them to take on more engagements and to do more projects? But unfortunately, when you have that very traditional system of hierarchy, it doesn't allow for that great movement for those lower down on the ladder. And again, it was one of the many frustrations that the Sussexes had.
Do you see Harry and William getting back on the same page, becoming close again?
I think things have moved on since where the booklet leaves off. We've seen Harry continue this great relationship that he has with his grandmother. He obviously checked in on her and Prince Philip repeatedly throughout the lockdown period, even wishing her well before she gave that big speech to people in the UK and across the Commonwealth a few months ago. And of course, with Prince Charles going through his own coronavirus battle, that also saw the family brought together in a different way. And I think it really went a long way to repair some of the perhaps bad feelings between Harry and his father and what had happened earlier on in the year. They seem to be in a very good place now from what I hear from sources. And of course, those moments like that bring all family together. And so William and Harry have had conversations since March, since they moved over to the US. And whilst I do think it will take some time before things are truly healed, we know from Harry, or from what Harry said to sources, that that bond of brotherhood is unbreakable and something that he will always cherish. So I do have hope for them.